How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
Welcome into the 14P YouTube channel. I am your host, Justin Wright. Today, we are talking trade targets, week 2. Before we get into it, guys, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the little watermark, the bell, whatever it is, and make sure you're not missing out on continuous 14 personnel content. Today, trade targets. It's week 1. Well, week 1's in the books. It's week 2. Everybody's overreacting to everything because it's fantasy football, and we have one sample. And we don't know how to make heads or tails of what we saw last week. It was a wild week 1. We all know it. So let's get into some guys that, are buy lows. We can buy some guys that had good weeks that I think are primed for bigger weeks ahead. And then we got one guy on the list that I think is probably should be moved on from. He had a fine week 1, but I think that might be, not the norm. So let's just jump right in. First on our list, we got DJ Moore. Coming in 15.4 fantasy points last week. He saw just under a 23% target share from Sam Darnold, and that's the big takeaway here. While 15.4, points is nothing to get crazy excited about, it's the target share that matters. 8 targets, 6 catches. You compare it to the wide receiver 2 on the offense, not Terrace Marshall, but Robby Anderson, who had an 8.5% target share. DJ Moore's the clear-cut one here. That's the huge takeaway. So while 15.4 isn't anything spectacular, with the schedule coming up, the talent, the target share, the role he has taken over, it seems like, at least through 1 week, DJ Moore is primed to have a monster season. And the next 3 weeks, we could see him really explode onto the scene. You get New Orleans with potentially no Marshawn Lattimore. You get Houston and Dallas. It really doesn't get much better than that. So DJ Moore, he's a guy I am looking to scoop up everywhere. If you can go trade Cortland Sutton on the Jerry Jeudy news for DJ Moore, you pull that trigger all day long. And I like Cortland Sutton. I think he's about to have a great season as well. But I much rather prefer DJ Moore in that offense. Number 2 on the list, Robert Woods of the LA Rams. Again, 12.4 points only in week 1 against the Bears, saved by a touchdown. And while he only had a 15% target share, I don't expect that to be the norm. I really don't. I mean, you look at what happened in that game. 2 long touchdowns that took away drives, for fantasy points. And while those drives are great in real NFL circles, when you're looking at fantasy, that nerfs the volume of the entire offense. Again, only 26 passes. Robert Woods only saw 4 targets. I don't care, though, about those numbers in week 1. It was a weird game. He's going to get his. He's too important to that offense. And just if you look at matchups in that week, Cooper Kupp was the clear play against Marquis Christensen, who's a terrible slot corner, and Robert Woods saw Jalen Johnson, who's the best corner on the Bears. So it made sense to not, hammer Robert Woods in this game. Moving forward, he's going to bounce back. We know that. The schedule's not pretty until he gets Arizona, but the Rams seem like a team that McVay is going to figure it out week in and week out. I'm never sitting Kupp, Woods, Stafford. He might hit the bench, just because he doesn't have the rushing. But Robert Woods, go get him. Another guy potentially to buy low on here. Number 3 on our list is actually the player I think we should be moving on from. It's Robby Anderson. And for the same reasons I love DJ Moore, same reasons I dislike Robby Anderson. He is not the alpha wide receiver here. He's not going to be the target hog we saw last season. With Christian McCaffrey back, he's taken all that underneath work that Curtis Samuel and Robby Anderson, thrived in last season. DJ Moore is a better intermediary route runner. He's even a good deep threat. And we saw it last week. Robby Anderson will get his eventually on those random shot plays. 1 catch, 57 yards, and a touchdown. I'm not banking on that every single week. With only 3 targets, and again, that should go up. He's going to see more than 8%. But still, the fact that that's in his range of outcomes and we saw it manifest week 1, no thank you. Not at all. If I can package Robby Anderson for like a Damian Harris or someone in that tier of running back, I'm thrilled to move on from Robby. Even if I could package Robby Anderson and somebody else to go and get DJ Moore, that's a move I think is a clear-cut win for the DJ Moore side. And again, we know the schedule. It could go well for Robby Anderson. It may even make sense to hold him for 1 or 2 more weeks to see if you get another big week out of him. But man, the way his season just looks to be trending after 1 week, I know it's could be an overreaction. I don't like it. I'm not excited about it. Moving on though, moving to running backs. First on the list is Najee Harris. And I feel like it feels like a buy low, but the owner isn't going to trade him at a discount. You have to pay up for Najee, and I'm fine doing that still. Again, the big factor here is he saw every single running back touch. He's the only running back to touch the ball in this offense in week 1. He saw several targets, and while he only had 1 catch for like 4 yards, Big Ben missed him on 2. Najee dropped a 3rd. So he's involved. 4 targets is a rock solid floor for your running back. So if I can get Najee, I still think he carries RB1 upside, not overall RB1, but top 12. And he's a locked and loaded mid-tier RB2. I just don't see any reason to not at least send out an offer, see if the owner's panicking. And you want to look at probably the best running back schedule you can find these next 3 weeks. You get the Raiders, who, say what you will about Monday night, great win. That defense still doesn't scare me. Cincinnati and Green Bay, teams you can run all over. I mean, there's just virtually no run defense there. So give me Najee to break out in the next 3 weeks here, and I want a piece of that. I want to get it now off of a down game with a maybe the smallest discount in the world before he just becomes untouchable in trades. Najee, this is the time to go get him. And to close out the list, we got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, if you can read it, the world's smallest print. Again, 10.2 points, not impressive as far as fantasy goes, but it's the Chiefs' offense. The clear takeaway, and it's similar to Najee Harris, he was the only running back to see more than 2 touches in this game. He's the guy. And there's no Le'Veon Bell this year to take away touches. Clearly, Darrell Williams is not going to be a factor. And Mahomes vultured him at the goal line. If he gets that 5-yard touchdown that went to Mahomes, we're looking at this as a completely different week. But right now, it just feels gross. He had 17 touches. 17 touches in the Chiefs offense? Give me that all day long. I don't care what it costs to go get him. Just go. If you can sell somebody on Elijah Mitchell, the hotness of the waiver wire, and another low-end wide receiver for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you smash that all day long. Damian Harris, I would move him in a package as well for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't even think that's a hot take. Just trying to throw out some kind of ideas here to get the ball rolling, potentially, if you're looking at trades. All right, guys, that does it for us here. First edition of Trade Targets, week 2. We'll be back again with week 3, potentially on some more buy low, sell high targets. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us over on social at 14personnel for Instagram, 14p pod on Twitter. You can catch me, Justin, at Justin_14p. I don't know why that sounded weird. It's not. At Justin_14p on Twitter. And we will see you guys next time. See ya.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.